Today I want to speak about Carla Faye Tucker. You know, when you see the way she is or was before she left this world and the way she was before, you see the difference between Saul and Paul. You know, when you look at Nicodemus, he looks like a nice Jewish boy who grew up and became a nice rabbi. But when you look at Rav Shaul, you see the underside, the violent persecutor. You know, our throats are an open grave, it says. It says our hearts are filled with destruction. Our tongue speaks deceit. We have intrigues. We have deceit. I'm reading from Psalm 5. But here I want to go back to Romans chapter 6. Because this old person has to die. And only God can replace this old you with a new you. And when you get Carla Faye Tucker out of your life and you become the new Carla Faye Tucker, it is glorious. This woman skipped to the death chamber from her holding cell. She jumped up on the gurney. She greeted the executioner with a smile. She was going to heaven. God had delivered her from her. And friend, I'm telling you out there, you think you have religion. You think you have some kind of relationship with God. You think everything is going well. But have you died with Mashiach? Have you nailed to the tree? Have you pierced and nailed and put to death the old person? Because this is the thing that has to be done. And the death he died to sin, so that we could die with him, and so this old self could be put to death and die with him. So we have to count ourselves dead every day. Every day, I have to say to that old man, you are dead. Don't try to crawl out of the crypt. You have died with Mashiach. And your flesh, listen, in my flesh there is no good thing. The deliverance we're talking about that evil nature. We're talking about the way you were before Mashiach knocked on the grave tomb door and Lazarus came out with the grave clothes. That's what we're talking about. Even our best works, they don't merit anything with God. He's looking at this old, moldering, dying flesh. In my flesh, there is no good thing. And he wants to completely remove it and put in its place a new creation. I want to tell every Muslim in the world this. I want to read from the 14th surah and show them this text. This is one thing that Muhammad got right. And it's a bridge text to lead us to John chapter 3, verse 3. You must be born again, Nicodemus. You must be born again. The flesh profiteth nothing. Listen, even when we've done all we can do, we've only done our duty. But I'm talking about something from the crypt. I'm talking about something evil. I'm talking about the flesh. If by the Spirit of God we put to death the deeds of the flesh, we will live. This is why you need the Spirit of God. No one can say that Yeshua is Lord without the Spirit of God. If you confess him before men, he will confess you. And he wants to do that today. And today, I want to thank God for one thing. He removed me. He got me out of me. He took away the old dead man, the old dead self, and replaced it with a new self, a new person, a born from heaven person. And oh God, thank you for that. Regardless of what happens in this life, that's the greatest miracle. Friend, has that happened to you? Has God got you out of you? Matt, that's my question. Have you come to the Lord? Carla Faye Tucker was in the jail, and she knew she was facing the serious capital charge of murder. She had murdered 2 people, and her accomplice had done a grisly thing using a pickaxe, a horrible crime, a terrible bloody scene. The woman was on drugs. She was out of her mind. She was lawless and wild and crazy and a walking time bomb. But in the jail cell, somebody said that a minister had come with a puppet show, and she didn't want to stay in the cell by herself, so she joined the other criminals and went in to see the little service. And there she saw a Bible, and she stole it. She didn't realize it was free. They would have given it to her. They were giving them away. And she took it back to her cell, and she was ashamed. She didn't want anybody to see her looking at the Bible. So she got way back in the corner and opened the Bible and started to try to read it. It wasn't very long that she got down on her knees in the jail cell and cried out to God to deliver her from her. That's what you need, Mr. Religious Person. That's what you need. You say, oh, I'm not like Carla. Yes, you are. You have the same wicked flesh, the same fallen nature, the same sin-prone constitution. And I'm praying right now, Lord, that somebody who watches this video will see the monster flesh, their own flesh, their old self, before something terrible happens. And they will cry out to God, and He will change them in the twinkling of an eye. If anyone is in Mashiach, he's a new creature. Old things have passed away. The old person has passed away. The old person has been put to death. The old person has been nailed to the tree with Mashiach. And a new person, behold, a new person has come. And we give you the glory. And everybody said, amen.